Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 16 of my survival Minecraft Let's Play. I am Iwat, and I wonder if there is anyone in the audience that remembers this block specifically. Because if you do, you have been watching me for quite a while, and I would like to thank you because this block is from all the way back in episode 2 when we first went mining, because this is the first diamond ore that we encountered. And it is a regular stone diamond ore. And today I have come back here to mine it because I want to use it in my storage system that I built in the previous episode. Alright, let's get this item on its spot, shall we? It's supposed to go up there, but I can't reach from down here. I actually first have to get myself a block and then I can reach. There we go. Now it is on its spot above the chests to indicate that in this column of chests the ores are supposed to go. And as you can tell, probably, in between this episode and the previous episode, I've been busy and I moved all of the items into our new storage system here. And I sorted everything and I have like nice indications above all the chests where everything is. And it's very nice. Also, I am thinking right now, I start every single episode with that same sentence in between this episode and the previous episode. Maybe I should think of a different way of saying that. Anyway, we have more than enough space in our new storage system, and as you can see, there are some empty spots here and there in our system still. But that's fine, because inevitably we will need those spots later, and there are also still quite a lot of different items that we haven't obtained yet. For example, I would definitely dedicate like a slot of these chests to the prismarine stuff that you can get from an ocean monument. And we haven't been to the end, so we have no end blocks at all yet. For example, I would say this column of chests would be dedicated to endstone. So, you know, there will still be some items in here that we will get eventually. Yeah, I'm really happy with this storage system. For this episode though, I really want to focus on this stairway right here, because we have this amazingly beautiful storage system here. And then when you go out of it, you immediately run into this ugly stone staircase here, and this annoys me that it is like the way it is, and I think we should definitely improve this, especially like right here. This looks very ugly and we can definitely improve this a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please play the intro? Now that the intro is over, I feel like I should take a moment here to talk about a couple of things, because there are some things that have happened in my personal life that actually affect you, the audience. Firstly, my grandma has ended recently, and that is a very weird way of saying that, but let's roll with it. And yeah, that has made it so there were less uploads on the iWat YouTube channel recently, and probably will continue to do so for quite a while. And if that is the case, so be it, you know, it's just then you know why that is the case. Secondly, I have a new computer, and that means that we can now do this and make everything look even more gorgeous in this game. However, I don't think that I will be playing with shaders on my YouTube channel here, simply because I want to keep it a purely vanilla Let's Play. So let's turn that off again. The reason that is relevant to you is that it should mean that you get higher quality videos. Alright, let's now crack on with renovating this stairway here. I think that the first step in doing this is to actually raise the ceiling and sort of extend the polished andesite pillars that we have right here to the rest of these stairs. And I think that's also what I will do first. While I am doing some mindless building here, I feel like I should talk about something else that happened halfway through the previous episode. And that is Minecraft Live happened. Basically, Mojang revealed quite a lot of things that they plan on adding in the next major update for Minecraft, that being Minecraft 1.21. I am not going to cover everything that they revealed there. Instead, I feel like you should go watch it yourself. However, there is one feature that they announced that a lot of people are very excited about, and that is the crafter. Basically, a way to autocraft things using redstone. And I hold a perhaps controversial opinion on that, because I am concerned about that block. And the reason I am concerned about that is because I think it will negatively affect some casual players for Minecraft. Let me explain myself why I think this. Perhaps it's not, like, perhaps I am overly concerned and perhaps this is not a problem. Because, to clarify, I am also excited about this block and I do see a lot of fun things that you can do with this and how this will change perhaps the way we build farms in Minecraft. But for people who aren't as experienced with redstone and who find those things very difficult, I think the addition of the auto crafter will be a bad thing. Because for people who aren't able to create very complex redstone farms, I think the auto crafter will make it feel like farms of other people on the internet will make theirs feel redundant. Basically, it will feel to casual players as if they can never build a farm that is perfect enough when compared to something someone else on the internet has built. And that's a concern of me. Like, the crafter is just going to add another layer of complexity to something that already right now is very complex to some people, to the point where a large portion of the player base is already just looking up tutorials, block by block tutorials of how to build farms instead of trying to figure out on their own how to do this stuff. And I think that's a bad thing, because in my opinion, a lot of the joy of Minecraft farms essentially comes from that, from trying to design it yourself. That is probably why you will never see me build anything from a tutorial or from someone else on the internet here on my channel. Because I will always try to make things myself, even if they are imperfect in some ways. I can live with that, because I designed those myself. And I think for a lot of people, that's not how they play or how they like to play. For a lot of people, they just want the resource that the farm provides. So essentially, they just want the biggest and best farm for that. And if that gets more complicated, I think more people will resort to just watching tutorials for that. And I don't know if I like that. However, I don't think that the addition of the crafter block is a completely negative thing either, because I do see a lot of potential in that block, and the redstone community seems to be very, very excited and happy that they are going to add that block, which is a good thing. Alright, I have raised the ceiling and built in the pillars, and I really love how this feels. This sort of extends the grand feeling a little bit from the storage room, and it makes this stairway so much more epic. And I think the next step in this building process is to fill in the ceiling, and for that I am just going to extend the leaves in the ceiling that I used in this room, and I am also going to do that over here. For those, like, corner bits, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure something out. I have already gathered myself the moss, the glowstone and the leaves to do so, so I don't think that should take too much time. It immediately feels so different with the leaves in place, as you can see. I am very happy with how this looks. I just sort of curved the leaves in the corners there, and I think it's nice. It feels a lot more alive? I'm not really sure, but it really helps to break up the grays of all the stone that we have here. And yeah, that means that the stair essentially, like, itself with, you know, the pillars and the ceiling is done now. And now we can move on to building the things on the sides here. And I am probably going to start with the wall chicken, because as you can see, it doesn't really fit its frame anymore, and we should extend its frame upwards. After that, I think I'm going to focus on this thing right here. And perhaps we'll just simply build all of them, because I already kind of know what I want in most of these. Only on the top one here, I'm not really sure. And down at the bottom, at the end there, I don't know what to put yet. Alright, I extended the frame of the wall chicken, and I am very surprised by how well that works, because you change like the size of the frame and now you have like a big black area on the top, and it still looks very nice, which is odd in my opinion, but I will take it, it's nice. With that, I think this wall is finished, and now we are going to move on to these sections, the higher sections of the stair here. And I already kind of pre-designed what I want over here, and I want a thing to test how high horses can jump. Yes, you heard that correctly. If that surprises you that I want to build that right now, that's fair, because it's not a very important build, you might think. But I really want to get into horses, because I really want to expand the horse race track. And for that, I want to build a thing to test how high horses can jump. And I am first going to excavate a little bit of space over here, and I think also over here. Although we might have to be a little bit careful, because we might collide with the wool farm. And yeah, let me first gather some resources to build all of the things that I want to build here before I actually start building them. One resource that I want to build with is mushroom blocks, and we get those by bone mealing mushrooms underground. And then we harvest the blocks. However, there is a problem, because we need silk touch for that, and mining it with our pickaxe is doable, but it's actually quite slow. So I think I should first get myself a silk touch axe before I start to collect these blocks. This is why we leave empty spots in our storage system, because I did not think of mushroom blocks when building this, and mushroom blocks are definitely a type of block that deserve their own slot in my opinion. We are going to put them over here, and I think I should get a red one to indicate that there are the mushroom blocks. I think that I have collected all the resources that I need to build this thing, and the first thing that I am going to build is the floor, and that starts by placing in some grass, and I'm also going to do it on this side immediately as well. And on top of that, I think I am immediately going to mix in some moss in the grass down here and there and up on the top, similar to how we did it over here in our skeleton room. That way we don't have to place down these torches everywhere, and we can just hide some glowstone under the moss carpet. I think that adding some brown colors with packed mud and coarse dirt in these side sections to the floor will help a lot by adding more detail to the floor and make it look more pretty. And that's exactly what I plan on doing actually. The plan is to make it get more brown if we go more towards the side walls and keep the grass in the middle here where we are supposed to walk. That's actually a nice building tip. Generally, it is better to mix loads of different blocks together rather than having one block for the entire thing. Anyway, I have placed some colored wool here on the sides, and if you are confused what this is, well, this is the thing that we are going to use in order to measure a horse's jump height. The idea is that we place snow layers on top of these pillars, and then we can check up to which pillar our horse can jump up them. However, I have discovered that we do not have any snow yet, which is a bit weird, but that means that we have to go somewhere where there is snow, and we've already been somewhere where there is snow, because we have been at a place where there were spruce trees, I think. I know for sure that we have a nether portal in some snowy area, and I'll probably use that one right now. Yes, I remember now. A very, very long time ago, we came here to get spruce wood. And now I have returned to get snow, and if I remember correctly, we do not have any berries yet. And we are in a biome that has berries, I think. So we should look for those. I would expect them to be more in the forest, actually. So let's go towards the forest to see if we can find some berries, because I don't think they are too rare. So we should find them quite quickly, I think. Why is there a sapling here? That's weird, because I haven't been here yet. Yeah, it's weird how we do not see any berries anywhere. I thought these things were supposed to be common. Or is it in the non-snowy variant of this biome where the berries grow? Because I think that we should get quite a lot. I don't see any. Alright, let's try something different. Perhaps there are some berries in the village. Let's go there. Oh, there are wolves. I think those are the first wolves that I find in my world. So that's something to remember, that there are wolves here. I think maybe in the chests in the village there could be berries as well. Let's first sleep. So it might be worth to check what is in the chests here. I checked all the houses and I checked our surroundings, and it turns out that there is no sweet berries to be found here. And I think that is because we need a non-snowy variant of the taiga biome. And that means that we will have to travel for those. But those were not the main reason that we came here. In fact, we came here because of snow. Like this. And I realized that I have a silk touch shovel. And that will give us the snow layers, which is not really what we want. But we can always get more snow using a pumpkin block and 2 snow blocks to make a snow golem. So I think we have what we came for, and it is time to go back. The snow layers have been put in place, and I decided to not start at a full block. Instead, I started at 1 block and 6 snow layers. And that is because all horses are able to make this jump, but not all horses are able to make this jump. And that means that if we ever want to make the worst horse, or the horse that has the worst jump, we can test it using this. And then we just add a single snow layer every pillar we continue. Now, horses can potentially jump much higher, but I think I am going to continue making pillars like these over here in this section. Though I have to be a bit careful because we will probably collide with the wool farm there. Right. One thing I should note here is that I made one aesthetic choice here, because physically if you go to stand on these 2 pillars, the height is exactly the same, because if there is just a single snow layer, it doesn't actually make you stand up higher than if there was no snow layer at all, like there is over here. But aesthetically, I think it's more pleasing if we just add a single snow layer with every block. And I calculated it, and it is exactly right, so that if we make 2 rows of these pillars, at the end, I believe there is like 1 or 2 which can't be reached by any horse. But anyway, it's almost exactly right, so that the last one on the 4th like row of these pillars is exactly like the maximum jump height of a horse, while this one is like the lowest a horse can possibly jump. Anyway, let's continue to building some stuff, and I think the next part is going to be the walls. And I already placed some blocks here, so this is more easy. I think I'm just going to try a couple things out here, and we'll see what works and what doesn't. And I am first going to try with dark oak. Like, some parts of this I have already pre-designed, and some parts I am trying to figure out on the fly here, and that is very dark. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. Let's strip them to make them a little lighter, and let's see what that makes. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Let's keep this and let's try some other things, maybe extend them much higher, and we'll see what that will become. Oh boy, I am doing exactly what I love doing most in this game, and that is adding details to my world, which is why I just spent so much time designing this, but it is all coming together very nicely because I love how this looks. And with this, I think we should end the wall and sort of transition into the ceiling here. And for the ceiling, I again want to do leaves in the ceiling. Alright, we've added a nice dark oak ceiling with a little bit of leaves. I actually wanted to add more, but it didn't feel right if I had more leaves like that. And I decided to go big on like the shapes and stuff, because we have a lot of trapdoors and stairs to add some depth to our ceiling wall corner thing up there. But now, let's turn around and let's focus on this room. Alright, this is where some of my pre-designed stuff comes into play, because the stuff that I have pre-designed is at the end here. But besides that, I now want to copy essentially what we have on this side over to this side. And to do that, I am essentially going to mirror that end with that end, but instead of doing it all with wood like we did over here, I am going to end it with one of those pillar things, just like we have here at the hallway. And for the side walls, the walls that we don't really have on the side with the bubble column, for those I am going to use the mushroom blocks that I gathered. Alright, I have constructed myself one of the walls, and as you can see, I used the mushroom blocks as a backdrop, and I used some bamboo to add some detail to our wall. And the mushroom blocks are actually great for a backdrop, because they are very smooth, very plain. They are not very eye-catching blocks, and you should use very plain and, in a sense, boring blocks for a backdrop. Like, you can't use glazed terracotta for that. I'm also starting to feel like I am going really big on the hidden lighting in this build, because over here there is hidden lighting on the floor and on the ceiling. Now those glowstone will be hidden eventually. There is of course those things all over the place, and there is also some more hidden stuff over here. There is that trapdoor, which covers a light. There is trapdoors behind the armor stands that cover lights. And there is, of course, lights above the leaves in the ceiling. I have mirrored the left wall to the right, and I have added a back wall. And right now, I think it is time to transition into the ceiling. And again, leaves in the ceiling is the way to go, I think. And I'll probably figure that out first before I build what I want to build over there. I think it is possible to more or less copy what we have over here and at the back, but then over here. I think that's possible. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this room is coming together very nicely because I am a very big fan of how this looks. The leaves in the ceiling make it look so much more complete and finished, as it is almost finished. But there remains only one thing to do, and that is to build the thing at the back here. And I am going to build a cactus farm in the back here. And if you are surprised that I am going to build a cactus farm this far into the episode, so am I, but I think it will still fit in the episode. It turns out that we don't have that much cactus at all, and this is exactly the reason why I want to build a cactus farm. It turns out that we only had 2 cactus, and in the time it took to grow 2 more, I have done all of this fishing. If you want to know what the enchantments are, here you go. But, you know, I really don't like the fact that you can't, like, speed this process up. And that's why we need to build a cactus farm ASAP. Because that way I don't have to worry about doing this anymore. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have constructed our cactus farm. And as you can see, it's not that complicated. The idea is that the cactus will end up in these chests, as is demonstrated by this great example right here. And on top of that, I also added a button to turn the farm off. Because of course I did, I'm IWAT, I like to add a lot of useless bells and whistles to my farms. Alright, let's actually go into the back here and let's show you how it works. So the button, every time you press it, this goes from on to off. So let's demonstrate that. Alright, oops, now it is off, and if we press it again, it is on. Alright, and this we have seen quite a couple times already now. And if you follow the redstone, it goes up here and it powers some pistons and also the lamp to indicate if the farm is on or off. But if we bust in here, we can see that it powers the pistons, and then those pistons extend to the block right next to the cactus if it would grow. That means that if the cactus would grow right now, it would collide with the piston head and it would pop off, and then it would fall into the water stream and end up in the hopper that goes into the chest. We only have 6 cactuses here, or cacti, whatever the word is. And that means that our farm is not too big, but we don't need that big of a farm, because in reality, how much cactus do you consume? Actually, it turns out quite a lot, because I've been using some cactus in the previous episode and in this episode, and it was always a very annoying resource to gather. So that is why I decided to build this. But this should satisfy our cactus needs for now. Also, 6 cactus was the perfect amount to make the water stream align perfectly with the hopper here. So that's also one of the reasons I chose 6. Anything else I need to show you? Yeah, I think it's fine. Don't ask me why I added the ability to turn our farm off, simply because I feel like I should add useless mechanics to our farms that way. It just feels satisfying to me to be able to turn off something like this. Yeah, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the episode, sadly. And the end of the episode also brings the fact of the video. And the fact of this video is that mild bell peppers didn't exist until the 1920s. I would like to thank you for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. I hope I can see you in the next episode. And as always, keep wondering.